People first organizations will win in the future of work.
Your only real asset is your people.
We all want purpose-driven work.
HR-led organization is the
I'm
future.
sorry, but leaders don't lead empty desks and empty shop floors.
Welcome to the People Strategy Leaders Show. I'm your host, Sri Chellappa, founder and president of Engagedly, and a serial entrepreneur in technology, films, and music. This is where we talk to people leaders, business strategists, and organizational savants about leading in the time of change. What is working, what is not working, and more importantly, what we should be thinking about. Stick around to the end of the show. We will reveal how you can be our next guest. And now, let's engage. Hello, this is Sri Chellappa again with People Strategy Leaders Podcast. Today, I'm joined with Chinonso Adolphus Ugwu from Nigeria. Chinonso is a manager, teacher, mentor, leader, and administrator. He served in mega hospitality industries with over 100 clients on a daily basis, and he taught at various levels of education from creche to tertiary. He's been a counselor and mentor in formal and informal settings and have led various categories of teams ranging from voluntary to government agencies. He's currently an international funded program administrator at the Institute of Public Health, University of Nigeria, with over 200 staff, 500 students, and over 1,000 ethics committee trainings. Well, welcome to the show, Chinonso. I'm really excited to have you.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
So, Chinonso,
I wish to share.
Go ahead.
I wish to share my experience over the years. I begin with my leadership styles. So my leadership style is transformational because I strongly believe that anyone can lead and can be led. So in educational leadership, both the teacher and the students are learners. So I adopted and combined other leadership styles over the years during my experience because there is need to be flexible. I see leadership as being the instrument to find purpose in life. The meaning of life is to be. To be is to be for a purpose. We exist for a purpose, and the purpose of life is to fulfill a cause. As a leader, you are instrument to fulfill an aim. The aim may be personal or collective or organizational. And you have to achieve this. You must adopt and be guided by missions and visions of the set targets. So this educational leadership of my experience also come with various challenges. And these challenges hinder success. I see success as a resilient effort to overcome challenges and to meet targets. So as an administrator, I had experienced great challenges. We began with an in-person meeting and training, but we lost trainees and students who quit because of distant venue, cost of transportation, and stress. We changed to visual meeting and training, yet we lost some who couldn't afford the required devices and data as well as those who lack IT skills. So
how are these challenges today different than some of the challenges in the past?
Actually, in the past, we are used to like students, teachers, relationship, interaction in a small classroom, and they used to share their experiences. So like in lower level of education, crèche, primary, the challenges are different from now we run an MSc Bioethics program.
Right. So when you think about leadership, like how do you define leadership? Because you are creating the leaders of tomorrow, right? Or at least in your education, in your institute, you're focusing on how do you create the next leadership for tomorrow. And as Nigeria as a country continues to develop, you obviously want more leaders that are attuned to the newer technologies, take advantage of the opportunities. How do you define that leadership, and how do you think about the kind of people you need to lead the new world there?
Leadership has to do with having the required knowledge, skill, and experience to carry a group of people towards a specific purpose. Just like I mentioned earlier, the leader needs to be flexible. So we are looking at people of vast experience who are versatile, who can change from a specific way of leadership to another in order to achieve a particular goal. So we are looking at people not just from a specific area. We need people from medicine, from social sciences, from different backgrounds who can lead people towards achieving a particular goal. And this goal is time bound. So we are specifically focusing on achieving it at a particular given time.
So when you think about you as a leader yourself, and you have to work with a big faculty of teachers, people, what are some of the lessons you've learned over the years as an administrator and a leader? And what are some of the things that you have done well and are things that are working as a leader for you?
Thank you very much. I have a role model and in a leader, Professor Emmanuel Ezome. He is the director of Bioethics Unit Institute of Public Health. I admire him so much and his leadership style because he leads by example. He ensures that the right things are done at the right time and everyone is carried along. He can be flexible to carry everyone along, but he is specifically focused on achieving his goal. So his flexibility doesn't amount to you not doing the right thing you're supposed to do. People call him workaholic because he always works to ensure that the right thing is done. So that's been what I learned.
So as you admire that leadership of your mentor, if I were to call him that, what are some of the practices you are using on a daily basis to motivate people, and the students and your teachers as well, to be better leaders themselves?
I do reach out to them on constant basis, checks on them, see how they are doing, find out their strengths and weaknesses, and see how I can help them to carry them along. So being in this position as a leader, they look up to you. They always want to hear from you. So I give them constant reminders. I set up to-do lists each day. So, and I ensure that I follow the to-do list which I have set. I ensure I check my mails to see if someone dropped a complaint or a challenge that I can solve. So prompt attention is needed to each person.
So how do you then make sure that you're not ending up micromanaging these people, some of them, because some of them might think you're micromanaging them if you're giving them a daily to-do list. Like, how do you avoid getting into that trap?
Actually, I don't lead by force. I lead using persuasive means. My words are soft. If you can do it, I will help you. But if you cannot do it, you do it at your own convenience time. But I will give you a reminder of your time limit so that you won't run behind schedule. So I give them free time to choose when to do it and how to do it. And I will help as much as I can to achieve that within the time limit.
Yeah. And you talked about earlier about having purpose, right? Giving people purpose is a great motivator, because that's what motivates them to wake up in the morning, and do the work, and and drive through times of adversity as well. How did you find purpose in your leadership as well? Like, what's your purpose when you think about your role?
Actually, I discovered that students, most of my students, maybe after graduation, they don't want to use that acquired knowledge for future purposes. So I always encourage them that when you achieve a thing, the question that needs to come into your mind is what next? So there is always a purpose to be achieved. Even when you achieve that very particular one, you are still looking forward to another purpose because the purpose is unending. It keeps from one purpose to another, from one purpose to another, until you create a very formidable cycle of group of people who can replace you, who can play your role if you're not there, because we're not going to live forever. The person you see as a leader today may not be there, so someone needs to step into the shoes.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely right, absolutely right. So, what are some of the mistakes you think bad leaders do that you have also learned from, or maybe the mistakes you made that you have learned from yourself?
Some of the mistakes I've made, let me use myself, as over pressurizing my students or my mentees. I over pressurize them some at times, and some of them gave up in the past. And I realized that the information they pass to others who are coming through me might discourage them. So what I do is I now approach them in such a way that I won't lose them. To avoid losing them, I have to persuade them instead of pushing them beyond their limits.
Yeah, yeah. So as you look at, your country obviously is moving fast. It's one of the fastest or most promising country, I would say, in Africa. What type of leadership do you think people need to exhibit as your company and your organization also develops?
I urge leaders in my country to use or adopt participatory coaching, persuasive mentorship, and on-the-toe evaluations. So these are what, like on participatory coaching, they have to involve both the people they are coaching and they themselves to ensure that the stress involved can be managed. So in persuasive mentorship, they constantly encourage mentees to achieve this task and rewarding them with more time. How their mentees to also evaluate them to see how you are doing, because you may not be able to see your back. You allow people to criticize you, to appreciate you. Then when you look at the blind evaluation, you'll be able to know areas where you need to work on.
Yes, yes, that's great. So you're using feedback mechanisms from other people to help them with coaching and helping them get better in their roles and in their behaviors, right?
Yes, we do work with feedbacks. Like I have a professor in Maryland University, USA, Professor Adebomao. On constant basis, we work with him. He coach us and give us the outcome. He evaluates our program to see areas we are doing well and areas we are not doing well. So we also have the International Training Advisory Group. This is a body of expertise who assess us, assess our leadership qualities, assess our vision and mission on annually to see areas they need to encourage us to work more on.
Nice, nice. That's excellent. All right. Well, that's very helpful. This is very exciting what you're doing up there in Nigeria with all the different type of people you have and the organization you're running. Any final advice for other leaders who are trying to grow their organization and develop, what I would call future leaders in the organization that you want to leave the audience with?
My advice to other leaders is that they should consider the leadership and the led. It's a two-way thing. So it shouldn't be just leader-centered or leaders focused. Rather, it should be more of the led focus. They should be more of the led centered, finding out the challenges they have and the ways to ameliorate their challenges instead of giving them rules to follow. It's not about rule thing, rather it's about working to ameliorate their stress, therefore helping them to achieve that same purpose. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot, Chinonso. This has been very exciting to talk to you. You've been working with us for a long time, so I appreciate finally being able to connect with you and have this interesting discussion with you. I really appreciate it. How can people find you and learn more about you and your work?
Thank you very much. People can reach me in Nigeria here, just at the Institute of Public Health, University of Nigeria, Enugu State, Nigeria.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Chinonso. It's been wonderful chatting with you. Until next time.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Sri Chellappa here. Thank you so much for listening to the People Strategy Leaders podcast. If you are a successful leader or a people strategist who would like to be on this program, please visit engagedly.com/People Strategy Leaders podcast. If you got something out of this interview, would you share this episode on social media? If you know someone that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag People Strategy Leaders. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, go ahead and subscribe. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show and mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more? Follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter @Sri Chellappa. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time. And thank you to Patrick Ramsey, sound engineer at Kalinga Production Studios, for recording and mixing this show.